Let's go ahead and first log into ePMX. User classes are established and created in the Utilities module. So let's navigate to Utilities and then to User Class Submodule Access. Enter your master password and select OK. When creating a user class, type the name of the user class in the field next to user class and select the add icon. You will then receive a pop-up message indicating that the user class has been created successfully. Select OK and the permissions options will open up. Each module you have purchased will have a tab listed at the top of the screen. Today, for today's example, we're going to select the Purchasing tab. We're going to create a user class for buyers so that they have access to all of the menu items that they need access to perform their job tasks. For this example, I will be giving buyers a mix of Maintain, Inquire, and None access to all menu options in the Purchasing tab. We definitely want to give a buyer access to most of these options. So standard PO, punch-out PO is Maintain. I'm going to say not all companies use blanket POs. So for today's example, I'm going to say None. And then creating a release against a blanket PO, I'll say None as well. However, if your organization uses blanket POs, or if you intend to use blanket POs, then you're going to want to select Maintain as an option. We also want buyers to create purchase orders from requisitions, purchase orders from previous orders. If you purchase the quotations module, we want to give them access to this as well, so that they can convert the quotations into purchase orders. We want to also give them the option to modify POs. The automated history card is just a display screen. It's somewhat of a report, but let's go ahead and give them Inquire options. And material on order, Maintain. If you have the contract module, you're going to want to give your buyers option to take a look at the contracts. So we'll set that as Inquire. And we also want buyers to be able to review PO documents. So let's select Inquire for that as well. In order for users to be able to print reports, we have to give them the permission to do that. So let's give them the print option under the Print PO document. So this is our main screen, and we are not finished. We need to expand the plus icon next to each one of these areas and finish configuring the user class. So the Logs option enables the buyer to take a look at the email log for the purchase order. So if you have a vendor set up as an email vendor and your purchase orders are emailed, you will want your buyers to be able to review the email log to ensure that ePMX sent the email to the vendor. So we're going to give them Maintain option, the same for the fax and the same for the push-out log. If you have punch-outs, when you place a punch-out order, your data trail will be recorded under the Review Push-out Log option. So we're going to give Maintain permissions to the buyer user class as well. I am going to say there's not many times when you don't want your buyers to have access to all of these reports. These reports are helpful whenever you're doing any troubleshooting or trying to figure out what the status of reports are or why isn't something fully approved. These are very, very helpful reports. So most of the time you're going to want your buyers to have access to these reports. So let's expand the PO approvals option. And the PO approvals, if your buyers are set up as approvers, then you're going to want to give them the maintain option. If they are not, you will want to give them the inquire option. I can't think of a time when you would want a buyer to have no access, because buyers do need to track the status of approvals with requisitions and purchase orders. PO approval email log. Now, before we go any further, let me just tell you that this section is only used if you are using purchase order approvals. Not all of our clients use purchase order approvals. Many of our clients use the requisitions approvals, which is a separate process whereby requisitions are approved and there's a hierarchy in place, and once that approval process is fulfilled, then the buyer can go ahead and generate a PO. So keep that in mind when you're setting this particular area. If you're using purchase order approvals as well, then you're going to want to make sure that there's access. If you're using requisition approvals, then access really isn't necessary here. So let's just go ahead and give inquire only access here. Once I'm finished, I can go ahead and select the save icon, and my user class will be saved in ePMX. The next step is to go ahead and assign that user class to our buyers. And there's two ways we can do that. For today, I'm going to show you how to do that from the user class submodule access menu, but just know that it can also be done individually within the employee record, and those details will be included in a different tutorial. In order to add users to the buyers class, we're going to select the user class buyers, and then we're going to select the copy to user icon, and we're going to place a check mark next to anyone that we want in that buyer class. So as you can see, there's three options selected here. These three users will be added to that user class. We select save, and that's it. There's nothing else that you need to do. Once you've assigned this to employees, then they can go ahead and log in with their credentials, and they will have access to all of this. And again, you're definitely going to want to test these configurations, even if you set up a user for yourself with the buyer user class, and do some testing to make sure that your buyers have access to everything that they will need access to.